Hello, everyone. My name is Gladis Herrera-Berkowitz. I'm the Director of Student Engagement Programs, and as part of my job, I oversee the Undergraduate Research Symposium. I want to start off by congratulating you on your involvement in undergraduate research and taking that next step to share your research results with our campus community. This is an exciting time for us. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to prepare for the Undergraduate Research Symposium. I will be sending a link with a presentation from Dr. Annika Spear from the Department of Theater, Film, and Digital Production. Dr. Spear is an expert in communications, and she has lots of fabulous advice on how to prepare your presentation, how to attract your audience and keep the presentation going smoothly. So I will be sharing that with you. In this presentation, we're going to give you an overview of how the symposium is being set up for this year, some of the logistics and approaches to your presentation. So we're going to get started. Okay, so the purpose of presenting at the symposium. One of the most important things is your professional development. Research is about sharing results. You have been spending countless hours researching your topic, analyzing the data. You are now the expert, and we're here to learn from you. So presenting at the symposium is taking that next step in the research enterprise, which is sharing the results. Your oral presentation skills are also something that you want to practice. You're going to use them throughout your career. So this is a good way for you to utilize that. And now that we're in this virtual world, practicing using your technologies. This year, we're using Zoom as a platform for the symposium. So getting used to presenting and utilizing all these technical aspects is going to be important in your professional development. And this is a good opportunity for you to get advice. Attendees to the symposium consist of fellow students, faculty, friends and family. You may hear a question that you never thought of that may give a different direction to your research, or you may hear affirmation of you're on the right track. This is a great topic. Keep up the great work. So again, the symposium is all about you learning about the research that you've conducted, how you share it with us, and then the feedback that you're getting from the audience. The other aspect of presenting at the symposium is that this is something that should go onto your resume. You should cite this. It's a great way for you to demonstrate that you're getting this expertise in your topic and that you're sharing it with the community. It also highlights your ability to do this on campus, and if you get the opportunity to present at a national conference, that's really important. So our symposium this year, it's different but the same. We are going to host live presentations on Zoom on May 12th and 13th. The 12th will be consisting of presentations in the emerging research category as well as creative projects. The 13th will focus on all of the presentations that are in the completed research category. The basic logistics to the presentations are that there will be a moderator who's going to facilitate the talks. This person will meet with you, introduce you, and then keep track of the time because it's really important. We're on a tight schedule. So depending on the category you're in, there's different times that you're going to be presenting, and we want to make sure that within that hour, there's enough time allocated for everyone to give their presentation. We highly encourage you to invite friends, family, people that are in your research team to join and listen in on your talk. And we also encourage you as presenters to support your fellow undergrads and attend other talks. There will be a live question and answer session. And again, this is the opportunity for you to talk further about how your research is going. Okay, so all of the presentations are going to be recorded. You will have an option when you schedule your talk to opt out of the recording. So I suggest that if you have any questions, you should consult with your faculty mentor to make sure that it's okay to have your presentation recorded. The benefit of having it recorded is that it will be linked on a website where we will encourage people to go and view it, and you can get additional feedback on your work. Having it recorded is also something that you can add to your resume. You can show people how you presented your work. You can also opt in to get feedback. Feedback can be provided by trained faculty and staff who will use a rubric to provide you constructive feedback on your presentation skills, your topic, the way that you described your methodology. the feasibility of that work, other ideas of how you might think about your research. Presentations that elect to get feedback will be considered for recognition as the best presentation in their college. So another incentive to why you want to get feedback. Okay, so on May 12th, we're going to highlight all of the research that is in emerging research category. These presentations will be 10 minutes and they will have up to 5 minutes of question and answer. In every hour, there will be a total of 4 presentations that will be taking place in that session. As I mentioned earlier, the moderator will facilitate the talks. We are encouraging you to, as you prepare your presentation, test it out with friends. Ask someone to be on the other side of the Zoom. You run through your presentation to make sure that everything works, especially if you're going to have any links or you're going to go to a website during your presentation, make sure that that works. Make sure that your internet is strong and that you don't have any distractions, any loud noises in the background. So these are things that you want to test out and get feedback from people. Once you have that, we want you to arrive 15 minutes before your presentation so that you can meet your moderator or the representative that's going to be organizing your session talk so that you know in what order you're going to present. You make sure that your presentation is ready to go so that when you get called upon, you can immediately start your presentation smoothly. You must stay for the entire hour that you've signed up for. So make sure that that's allocated into your calendar. Okay, so for emerging research, you have 2 options. You can do a short PowerPoint presentation where you tell us about your topic. What's the background? What's your question? Go over your methodology and tell us about your preliminary results or what your expected results will be, and then give us your conclusions. You should also cite a few sources. Again, talk to your faculty mentor about what's the most appropriate format for you to present your work if you're in the emerging research category. The other option in emerging research is that you present a poster. Some students already have posters, so for that reason, their faculty mentor may ask you to present that poster, or the faculty may want you to get the experience of presenting a poster, so they'll ask you to do it in that format. Again, consult with your faculty member. If you are using the poster format, what we recommend is that perhaps when you do your introduction, you show us the entire poster. Give us the introduction and just say, you know, I'm going to walk you through these sections, and then break up the poster. So you should have one slide that basically focuses on your methodologies, for example. And then you can have another slide that focuses in on the results. And then your final slide would be your conclusions. So again, consult with your faculty member to see what is the most appropriate format for you to present your work. Another thing that we suggest if you're doing a poster, images are really important. We want to have minimal text. And so again, you might have one slide or 2 where you're showing us images that really highlight what it is that you're talking about. People can follow it a little bit better if they see a graph that outlines what you've discovered. So think about that. The other suggestion is you can use a QR code on your poster, and this can provide your contact information. So if somebody wants to follow up with you later on, all they have to do is scan that QR code. Creative projects. Those presentations will also take place on May 12th. It should be a 10-minute presentation with up to 5 minutes for Q&A. We are hosting 4 presentations per hour. And again, we're asking you to come early so you can make sure that your presentation is going to go smoothly. A suggestion for these kinds of presentations is that you allocate maybe 3 minutes to your introduction. This is where you're going to give us background on your topic and guide us on what we're going to expect to see. You should also have a 5-minute video that highlights your work. So if you have a dance performance that you've choreographed, you might want to tell us what have been the influences for this dance. What is the message behind the dance? What are things that maybe we want to look at as we see a segment of that dance? And then you want to conclude with about 2 minutes telling us what are lessons learned? What are your next steps? We will send you a link. We have a really good example of a student who did a presentation and he was working on a film. His part of the film was doing musical composition. So he talked about in his introduction, you know, what was the theme of this film? How was that music selected? And then he gave us an example of a scene where the music was used and highlighted what his goal was and how he was able to meet it in that scene. So that's an example that you can look at. And again, we'll send you that link. Okay, completed research. All completed research will be hosted on May 13th. Completed research presentations are 15 minutes each with 5 minutes for Q&A. There will be 3 presentations per hour, and we also ask that you show up 15 minutes early to make sure that everything's set up. In your presentation, you should think of it like a research paper. You want to give us a brief background on what is your topic. Avoid lengthy discussions of previous theory and literature. Just give us a concise, like, this is what's known. This is what I'm going to focus on, and why is it important that I'm looking at this new aspect of this topic. Then go through your research question. What is the focus of your study? The methodology. How did you go about getting your data? And then your conclusion. Your conclusion should also indicate what are the implications of what you discovered. What are the next steps if this research is to be continued on? And for all presentations, you should have a section where you provide acknowledgements to your advisor. If you were funded for your research from a mini grant or the Chancellor's Research Fellowship or organized research on campus or any other entity that has contributed to your research, that should be recognized. And again, anyone that has helped you through the process. So for example, if you were working with a librarian at an archive that you went to, thank that person or thank the archives for allowing you access to those documents. People in your lab that are helping out. This is a great place to give that recognition for all of the support that goes into research. Okay, so in the completed research category, you want your core presentation to focus on your findings. Use charts, graphs, bullet points, anything that's going to really help the audience follow what your research was and how you've been analyzing it, what you're discovering. For yourself, when you put your presentation together, you want to make sure that you are asking yourself the following questions. Did you find what you were expecting? How do your research results relate to the theory or previous literature? What are the implications of your findings? Where is it going to go? These are typical questions that the audience may ask you. So you should have those in the back of your mind so that you're prepared to answer them. And again, make sure that your presentation is already addressing them. All right, final tips. As I mentioned, there is a fabulous video from Dr. Annika Speer that really helps you to understand how do you get the audience's attention right away. So you want to grab their attention with something like a quote that maybe outlines what your research is, a scenario, a question. You might say, hey, have you ever thought about, the wildfires that take over California every summer? What's the impact on the atmosphere? Well, my research is focused on this. And then you can go on and maybe even throw in some data, some statistical results about what is the impact of fires on the atmosphere. That would be a great way of capturing your attention right away. So again, think about that. The important thing about your research is should answer, why is your research important? Think big picture. What is your research discovering that's going to contribute to society or the community? Who is it impacting? Those are other questions that you should be able to answer with your research. Avoid jargon. You're presenting to a broad spectrum of audience members. There are people that may not be experts in your particular field, so you don't want to be talking in jargon so that the audience can't follow what you're saying. So talk to your faculty member. This is a great person because they have to do this to say, am I giving enough information for someone outside of my area to really understand what I'm talking about? And even though we're presenting via Zoom, we still want to have professionalism. So we highly encourage you to dress professionally for your presentation, especially since this is going to be on the web. You want to have the best presentation of yourself and your work. So again, you don't have to be in a full suit and tie. You could be in a nice collared shirt. Young ladies, nice shirt. and minimal jewelry, whatever it is that you want to just make sure that you have a professional presentation. Your background, something to think about. Make sure that you don't have any distractions, whether it's noise in the background or images. So if you can, you might just want to blur your background. Okay, so again, as part of professionalism, we want to make sure that your presentation looks as fresh as possible. The university has templates that you can use. So there's a link here. We'll also send this out to all the presenters. And I would select one of these and just keep that nice branding that the university has. We are working on giving you virtual backgrounds that indicate that this is the undergraduate research symposium. We highly encourage you to use those, but if for some reason your computer doesn't allow you to use them, I would say blur your background or find a space that doesn't have any distractions. A blank wall is perfectly fine. So think about that. Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. Again, I want to congratulate you on getting involved in undergraduate research and to being at a point that you can present your work to our community. We're very happy to have 147 of you presenting this year. If you have any questions, you can contact our office at ugr.ucr.edu. Again, I wish you the best of luck and I look forward to seeing your presentations. Thank you for attending our session.